So how long have you been an artist?
I could say 9 years, but really took it seriously after 2012 because it was child's play at first. I didn't know what I was doing. I had a bunch of magazines laying around and a crisis happened, and I said, let me cut these magazines out the way I think the pictures should look. So the pictures didn't look right, so I said, let me fix them. So I fixed them the way I thought they should look.
Right.
So that's where the collage came in. A collagist came in, just putting pieces of the puzzle in the magazine together, how I was feeling, what emotions I had at that time in my life.
All right. Let me see here. Are you self-taught or did you go to school to learn art?
Self-taught.
Okay.
And then went to school for it. And I really have to say thank you to Professor Izzo Glover of Medgar Evers College that thrust me in this limelight. He had seen my artwork through my husband, that's a colleague of his in the college, and he said, you do that? He's an art professor. And I said, yeah. And he just told me, come to class. So I studied under him for a couple of years, and he taught me and introduced me to so many artists that helped me along the way.
Glover, Mr. Glover.
Yep, Professor Izzo Glover, and I mean, it's been a beautiful journey. And even meeting you.
Yeah.
Because on my journey, you came into my life. And I prayed for you, Mr. Melvin Isaac.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So how many mediums do you work in?
Two.
What are they?
Well, I paint. Now I paint in my collage. At first I was just doing paper. And I love paper. I do. Give me paper and I'll cut it up for you. Don't give me your paper. I'll cut it up for you and design it. But I like painting in it to bring out a better background. And it gives it more depth. And maybe later on I'll graduate to other mediums. But for now, just paper and paint. Painting in the collage now.
All right. Do you belong to any art organization?
Fulton Art Fair, which I hold dearly to my heart, which gives me this platform also, and Dorsey's Art Gallery. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about similar to the other galleries in a minute. Have you had any commissions?
No, not as of yet, but soon to come.
Okay. What about private schools or collections? Your work have any exhibit in any of those?
Yes, quite a few exhibits.
Okay.
Medgar Evers College for one, Dorsey's Gallery, Harlem's State Building, Bailey's Cafe, and now a new venture at Restoration and St. Joseph's College. So I do have quite a few, and when I think about them, I'm like, good.
Yeah, you're
building
a collection. You're doing very good.
Thank you.
Well, what about an individual show? Have you had one yet?
No, soon to come.
Okay.
Yeah, soon to come. A little bit nervous, but just hold on and just do the artwork, which is most important to have a show.
Yes.
So you can have some work to put in a show when you're asked to do one, framed and matted and have it professional looking, and the show will come along in due time, a solo.
Yes,
and I will be looking forward to that.
Yes, it will. It's coming. So now tell us about Dorsey, how important Dorsey Art Gallery is to you.
Oh, my goodness. Dorsey's is another place where it started out for me also.
Okay.
Dorsey's Art Gallery. By going there with Professor Izzo Glover, that introduced me to Order O'Neill's and Carl McIntosh, which I call him my Maxie.
Yes.
And all the other artists that I met through there, James Denmark, Emmett Swigglesworth, Donovan Nelson, Richard Barclay, renowned artists. And all these men have had great impact in my life, which, helped me along the way. It's not all about me. It's about who influences me and tells me which direction to go, because they've been in this art world for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. They've been doing art. And for these men to just embrace me, James Dimmock, you got it. And I was like, ooh, I never knew this man. And they I met him privately, not have to make an appointment, Otto O'Neill's, Carl McIntosh, And these older gentlemen have took me in and bring out the best in me, especially Carl McIntosh, that is thrusting me in a new level. It's taking me on a new venture. So Dorsey's is a big part of me, big part of me. I could always go there and get good vibes, good information, what not to do, what to do. And one thing they taught me, all these men, humble yourself, humility. Because when you step into your element and you reached a certain plateau, never forget where you come from. And they taught me from the beginning, humility. Don't get a big head. Put it that way. Don't get a big head. Stay neutral and things will come to you. People will be looking for you. You don't have to go running to them. Just have the art available, and this is what you do. So humility is just one word, and it goes a long way.
Yes, indeed. Well said. Well said. What do you consider to be the most important to you in your life of art?
Creating. Creating it. Having ideas. 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when everybody sleep, 4 o'clock, that's when the idea comes. And I'll pop up in the middle of the night and start running to the kitchen, and looking for pieces of paper just to cut. And there till 7 o'clock in the morning and get an hour's sleep and, just be so excited to do it. And then I step back and look and say, look at you. Early in the morning, those are the times that the inspiration and the motivation come. In the middle of the day, no, I'm not even thinking about it. But in the middle of the night, the ideas are just rounding out in my head, a puzzle. That's what I call it, a puzzle. A piece of a puzzle that you're fitting together as a collagist, for me as a collagist. Because a lot of people do collage. But to me, it's a piece of a puzzle, Mr. Isaac, that I put together in my mind. Every day is a puzzle. You fit in a piece, and then you take out the piece if it doesn't fit right. You go on a life's journey and it's a puzzle. Some pieces don't fit together the way they should, so you take it out and then you add something else. So that's where my creativity comes from, a puzzle, and I keep it as a puzzle. Simple and sweet, puzzle of life.
Okay, so we rounded down to the last question. Who are you and what is your purpose in life?
To help someone beside myself.
Okay.
To help people. Being kind, as I said before, is a milestone for me, because I know for a fact that I'm kind. And to extend your warmth and welcome people as they are. No color, no gentrification, just open arms and let it be from there. So it's to give back. Not to who just gives me, but to anyone. Just accept and be real. You don't have to be, all uptight and think that you're something. No, just be you. When you meet me, be you. Because that doesn't impress me. What impresses me is you being yourself.
Yeah. Again, well spoken, and I want to thank you very much for allowing me to interview you. But it's not over yet.
Okay.
Because we get ready to do a second part, which we're going to be sharing. She's going to be sharing a story about her art and telling us about her art. And so do not go anywhere. Stay tuned. Do not change that dial. And you're going to hear more from Wilma, the artist, talking about her art.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a very nice studio, and I'm watching the
Okay.
gadgets because as I'm here too, I'm learning too.
Okay.
It's a very
That's
much
very
learning
good.
experience. It's beautiful that to just learn things as you're sitting somewhere. I've never had, a green screen, and I'm like, all right, and it's beautiful here.
Yeah,
It's very nice
good,
studio,
very
so I'm enjoying myself learning and listening.
Right. So you know, we showing in the background where she was in the Fulton Art Fair, and I believe the first part was what you was with your one part of your family member, a young child. I don't know who that was, so I guess you can tell who it is.
Oh, this is my great nephew. And his name is Benjamin Cruz, that was visiting here from Florida, and I haven't seen him in 4 years, which was a blessing to me because I've been wanting to see him, and he's an artist also. And what the beautiful thing about it is that he came out on the fence to visit me and to check out his auntie's artworks, which was a plus for me. And he encouraged me, and I encouraged him. He wants to be a basketball player, but I told him, look, still be creative. Don't never let go of your creativity. You know, you like to draw, keep on and continuing drawing, but, you know, go to school and be a basketball player. Do what you feel do, but don't do what I do just because I asked you to do it. But he's very creative, and I really enjoyed this day because this is a milestone in my life for me, for him being there.
Okay. Now we're going to get into your art in a second. We're just showing pictures of you at the Fulton Art Fair. Now tell us about this.
Oh, this was a beautiful moment for me. It was by surprise, but I enjoyed it. We were all standing around the bench, which was dedicated to the Fulton Art Fair. The founders of the Fulton Art Fair, Shirley Hawkins, Jacob Lawrence, Ernest Chinlow, if I'm saying it right, if I'm not, but Jacob Lawrence, and they dedicated a bench in the park, Fulton Park, to him. Were the founders of this awesome organization that has been around for 60 years, and it's a continuing art fair every year, June, 3 weeks. And they asked me to pray, and I just prayed. And it caught me by surprise, but I had to give honor to God, and they asked me to do it, and I thought that was so awesome. You know, because that's where all your blessings come from, when you realize it or not. There's a God above. And I prayed, and that's what I did, and that's what I was supposed to do, and it was done. And amen to that.
Amen. Mm-hmm. So let's go to the next ones. You should be coming to your art now. All right. Tell us about this.
Oh, my goodness. This one I really enjoyed doing. It's called Checkmate. And I thought about a man and a woman. And he looks so fly, and she looks so good together. And I said, he's with her, and that is his checkmate. And then it reminded me of Sly and the Family Stone, the way he used to dress back in the day. And he's an old school artist. And I looked at her, and she's just a diva. And I called it Checkmate. And I enjoyed doing this one because the background is painted, which is abstract. And this is the first one I really went out and really painted and was really impressed with myself with just the paper and the paint. And I said, wow, to myself, which are my initials, W-O-W, and that's how I signed my art, W-O-W. And I said, wow. And this is the first time I said, wow. So I was like excited for myself. And that's what this one is, Checkmate.
Okay, so let's see the next one.
Oh, this one here is out of their shells. For people that are hiding in a shell and in a bubble, but I call this one out of their shells. And her head is popping out of a cocoon of a shell. And she's hiding, she has luggage there, but the main focus of this one is out of their shells. You know, you're hiding behind a shell. And when you're hiding in a shell, no one could see you. You know, you have to come out and get some air and be who you are. And I said this because I'm out of my shell and out of my element. You have to take chances. You have to take risks in life. You know, sometimes you don't know where you're going, but just turn around and ask yourself, be true to yourself, and come out of that shell. that cocoon that you're hiding behind. Just be, all in my motto now is be yourself and come out of the shell. And that was my inspiration for this one, out of their shells.
Okay. Now, we don't have too much time left, but let's see if we can get a lot more without. Go ahead.
This one I dedicated to the gentleman, which is called Fire Escapes. A man always needs an escape. No matter where he's at or what he's doing, men need time for themselves. And men go into, I call a fire escape, where he needs to escape from himself and everything that's going on in his life and just relax, which he has his radio with him and he's just there relaxing, and a nice lady's behind him when you really emphasize on the picture. But it really is fire escapes, because men need to escape. Not all men are bad, and I represent the men that they do need an escape from all the things and elements in life that they go through. I'm behind your back, We women give you a hard time, but we want you to be the best that you can be. And you need a fire escape retreat for yourself.
All right.
Sea of Eyes. This is what I dedicated to my doctor when I'm out of glasses now. And I thought about him because I wore glasses for over 25 years, which people don't know now, but I used to wear glasses. And I had corrective surgery for my eyes, and it's a beautiful thing. And I thought of all the goodness that God has did for me. And I call this Sea of Eyes because the eyes are the window of the soul. What you look at sometimes is not what you're perceiving, but the eyes are a window of the soul. So I call this one here Sea of Eyes. Oh, this one here is hanging in the library. We all need some knowledge, so let's hang out in the library and read some books and get something put in our head instead of just thinking about things. A book is knowledge, but it's what you interpret in the book. You can read a book and still don't understand it, but hanging in the library means a lot to me, because hanging in the library, you're putting something in your head that you will, in later on life, need. Because you do need an education to get by these days. There's no ifs and buts about it. So get all the knowledge you can get. But remember, when you get the knowledge, to bring somebody else up with you with that knowledge. So hanging in the library means a lot to me, because you get the knowledge, don't leave your community. Bring back your knowledge to the community that you may help the community. So hanging in the library, get the knowledge, but bring it back. Bring back the library with you. This is another one here, which I dedicated to my doctor also. There's a lot of doctors, but still in all, hand me that fan. And as an artist, your hands are everything to you. So I had complications with my hand, but I thank God that I could still use them. And it's just hand me that fan, and it was dedicated to him with the hands. And he's an orthopedics doctor, and he deals with hands and everything. So when I was going through a very hard time with them, but God still allowed me to create Hand Me That Fan, and that's what it is. Oh, this one here is House of. And as I look at different homes and houses where people live, we don't know how they're living. And you're on a bed of thorns. She's lifted up, but yet she's on a bed of thorns, but she's not touching the bed of thorns. And there's a lot that's going on behind those closed doors in that house. Life is not a bed of roses as some people claim it to be. You can have thorny weather in your life, but you have to just rise above, which she is rising. She's rising to the occasion, even on a bed of thorns, and she's not quite on the thorn, but you can arise above it. So this one is House of. Whatever's going on in your life, make sure that you rise above those thorns.
All right, so we came to the end of the show.
Yes.
And this is it, viewers. Like I said, we are at the Brick Arts Medium, and we with an outstanding artist, and Wilma Warden, and you heard everything she had to say, her message, but she's going to give her a shout out now and a message to the community. So, yeah, you give a shout out to whoever you want to give a shout out, and then you can give a message to the young people in the community. Okay.
Okay. I would like to give a shout out to Otto O'Neill's, James Denmark, Emmett Swigglesworth, David G. Wilson, Abdullah Abadi, Carl McIntosh, Donovan Nelson, Robert Carter, and Richard Barcliffe. And the most three is Dr. Ronald Chase, Dr. Philip Bradley's, and Dr. Chopra, Japid Chopra. And to the Fulton Art Fair and my new family at my new job, the courthouse.
Very good. So what about to inspire the young people that's there, that's listening to you, and they look at you as their leader, and give them some encouraging words that they should look forward to becoming an artist or they talent.
For my young audience that's out there, young or old, never give up on your dream. Never give up on yourself first. Always have faith and believe in what you do. Never use the word can't. Can't should not be in your vocabulary, because if you keep on saying you can't, you won't. Okay? You have liabilities in your life and you have assets. That's my motto these days. A liability is dead weight. Assets are people that add to your life to help you on your journey where you need to go. Get around people that are in the same thing that you're doing, going somewhere to do positive things in life. Get an education, get some book knowledge, because you need street knowledge, but you need more so book knowledge. Street knowledge you could always learn. There's always something you see and hear outside the street. But to make it a way these days, here in these times, you need education. So get as much as you can and do the best that you can. And for further future adventures, get around people that will help you and inspire you and create things in you that you say, wow, I thought I can't do it. But don't use the word can't, because can't is a very harmful word in the vocabulary these days. And like, I can't do this, I can't. No, I'm able. You're willing. Try it. Thrust into something different. Try something that you never tried before. Stop being prejudiced and narrow-minded and being a bigot, because you have bigots in all colors. Hatred gets you nowhere. That's another issue that we could touch on, but limited time. Get around people that just do things. Everybody wants to be somebody. Well, be the best that you can be. It's not about yourself. Is bringing other people into your life to help you bring out the creative side of you. And if it's math, science, art, music, dance, these are things that you need in your life, because these are the arts. And in school now, they're taking them away from you. Being creative opens up your mind to new things, and you get to see other people, and go to an art show, go to a dance show, go to a play if you can afford it. There are free plays in a park. Go do things that you like to do, not just sit around the neighborhood and do nothing, because you don't learn anything. You see the same people every day doing the same thing. I was never like that, and I never will be like that. Just sit around the neighborhood. I'll get on a train, and there's so much free stuff to do. Just enjoy it and enjoy the journey.
Okay, we're cutting down for time. It's almost basically that time.
Yes.
But we can, you might want to give the viewers out there, how can they get in contact with your information, whether it's your email or your website or something that they say, I like what she just said, and I might want to see her art. I might even want to buy one of her art. So how would they contact you?
Well, they can contact me on my email, which is WOW www.wow0420@yahoo.com. Or you can call me at my home, 347-461-9973, or my cell, 347-496-9457. And that's how you can contact me about my art, or just to talk in general. But have something to say that is constructive.
Okay, well said. And I want to thank you again very much, Wilma War.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin Isaac.
For coming on my show and delivering your message to the community, to the folks that's out there. And I'm pretty sure you really inspired them. You inspired me already just by listening to you.
Thank you.
So I'm pretty sure a lot of them heard you and welcome you. And now it's another thing too, even though you're seeing us, but it's also a podcasting as well. There will be a link to just the audio, and that's all you will hear, just her talking about her art, inspiring you all some more. You hear her prayer at the beginning of the show. And so all these is what we need. We really need positive role models in our community. We need people like Wilma to come on more to address a lot of different other issues about art. And this is great for us. So we want to thank you for listening, and thank you again, Wilma, for coming here and being my guest. And again, viewers, my show comes on every week, every Thursday, twice, 10 a.m., and again at 6 p.m. on Cable Vision 67 and Verizon 5 throughout the boroughs 42. So we welcome you again. Come visit us, come participate, and we're going to give you some updates too later on about the, what was it you were saying about the, on Fulton Street, the restoration?
Yes, the restoration, the July 27th, we have an exhibit opening, 7 p.m. at 1360 Fulton Street, and that's right where Applebee's is off New York and Fulton Street. So we'll be there, Fulton Art Fair, July 27th at 7 p.m. is the reception. And then you can take a look at our work, because it's not a me thing. It's about a group of us artists together that are collaborating to continue the legacy of Fulton Art Fair.
Yes, indeed. So, and all that information I will put across the screen so everybody could see it. So we want to thank you again. It's a blessing, and our show is over with. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin Isaac.
You're welcome.